Patrizia, maybe I will follow up on what you said on stage, if I understood correctly. That we need to, let's say, build from the ground, to have successful social businesses locally, so we can somehow build on this, let's say, local infrastructure and build something bigger, some network, let's say, global or European. Can you maybe follow up on that? Can you maybe explain why do we need? Because it might have been like the different, the other way, like to build a network to help, build businesses. So what's the thought in that?
Okay, I think you are not wrong on both positions. In fact, I honestly think that we need the ground for building networks. Network without concrete and local organization are without any meaning. Network exists for them and they are done by them. So we absolutely need local organization, work integration, social enterprise, really to give material for the network to do their daily job. At the same time, I also agree with you. I mean, networks are important and are needed for them, and networks should work in order to increase the number of organizations also at local level. So I think that both what you have said is absolutely in line with the idea I also personally have about networks.
Yeah, and maybe could we explain why the networks are so important? Because one of the biggest topics on stage was how, let's say, the legislative works in each country. If we have proper definition, let's say, of the social economics or social businesses. So that's the role of these networks to, let's say, to create an environment where you can easily orientate like what you want to do, or if you want to do something, you just use this framework to build your business.
Yeah. So taking to the reference also the first question, many local organizations together cannot speak all together to the public authority. They should be represented. So this is the first main important thing of the fact that network exists and should exist. Networks are a little bit intermediary between this local organization and the public authority that at the end are the one creating the framework. So one of the key functions of network is really give a voice to the local organization in order to have something on the financial side, on the legal framework side, that finally answer to the needs of the ground. So this is absolutely the key function of the network. Then, as I underline, networks are important for facilitating the exchange in between the local organizations, are important to have the flow of information from the European to the local and from the local or national to the European. So this is also another important point concerning network. And we are very lucky that in the Social Economy Action Plan and in the Council recommendation, now the role of network is recognized. And this is extremely positive. This doesn't mean that network has no any more problem. No, absolutely. The problem of network are still there. There are still areas of improvement. But the fact that they recognize at European level and also at member state level that networks are needed can be something on which we can absolutely be supported and count on it in order to develop more and more the social economy.
Yeah, and probably the last question. We're thinking about like how these, and I'm not gonna say only social businesses on the local level, but how the whole ecosystem and the networks might be useful and helpful within this let's say very, I would say, difficult times, difficult era where there are multiple crises coming from each direction, and sometimes it's health, sometimes it's economics. So how can this ecosystem, let's say, how can it help to solve this crisis, or maybe not solve them, but somehow adapt
Yeah, I think adapt is the good word because these are very big crises and we cannot dream that the social economy is solving them. But for sure, what we have also noticed through some studies, also within the Social Economy Europe network, is that the social economy organizations are resilient to some of these crises and are still there working despite the fact that there are all the limits linked to this crisis. So I can absolutely agree with you that they can be part of the solution, and at the same time they can do this because they have been able to adapt themselves. And this is also because of the fact that one of the main characteristics of social economy organization is that they are linked to the territory. So when you are linked, encouraged to the territory, you know the problem and you try to solve them and to answer to the needs of the territory. And so this link allow also when there are very crucial crises to be able to answer to the need, or at least to try to answer to these needs. And so
maybe I came up with the very last question, but the Tesla has this motto like that one day the regular businesses might work the same way as the social businesses. Do you agree with that? Is it also your goal? Because what you just said, like that you need to react, you need to solve these local problems, maybe to be able to react on some needs, problems, crises on the local level. That's something like every business should think about, not only on a social level.
Yeah, I honestly dream of a world in which every enterprise work as a social economy organization with the principle link to the fact that the person is before profit. So when we could arrive to this, to the principle or link also to the distribution of the profit, this is also crucial because when we stay on words, everyone agree. But when you go to the money, then people can also not agree. So when you think about the fact that the profit is used in another way and is not distributed among the shareholders, then perhaps normal companies could not agree. But I absolutely dream of a world with all social economy, or at least a world in which also the mainstream business can be responsible of part of the problem that are in the world. I mean, so I'm absolutely in favor of this. And we can also say that there are already some examples of mainstream business that are already aware of the fact that they need to do something. And we have actually within ENSI a project that is really on the cooperation between WISEs and mainstream business. And we really see mainstream business working with WISEs really because they want to do something more. So this is already existing. We just need to be more, we can say, proactive and to convince more people in this. But yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.